Have you ever experienced a sudden itch, one that seemed to come out of nowhere, demanding your attention? Perhaps it was just a brief irritation, or maybe, just maybe it was something more. What if that itch wasn't random? What if your body was trying to speak to you in its own subtle, sacred language? In this journey, we'll explore something that most people overlook: the spiritual meanings of itching. Not the medical, not the superstitious, but a deeper, more profound interpretation that invites you to listen, reflect, and realign with your inner self. As someone who's walked the path of mindfulness and spiritual inquiry for many years, I can say with certainty there's wisdom hidden in the body's whispers. Today, let's decode one of the most underestimated signals: the itch. Your body as a spiritual messenger. Imagine your body as more than just flesh and bone. Imagine it as a temple, a living, breathing sanctuary where your spirit resides. And like any temple, it speaks, not in words, but through sensations. An itch, for instance, may not always be a reaction to an insect or dry skin. Sometimes it's a symbolic message, a reflection of your emotional or energetic state. Throughout history, various traditions have suggested that the body mirrors the soul. Physical sensations, especially recurring or unexplained ones, can hold messages from our subconscious, from spiritual realms, or from our own neglected emotions. In my own meditative practices, I've learned that itching is rarely meaningless. It often shows up during moments of transition, mental clutter, suppressed emotion, or spiritual stagnation. When we learn to interpret its message, we open the door to profound self-awareness, interpreting the itch, a map of meaning. Each area of the body, in both Eastern and Western esoteric traditions, carries symbolic weight. Itching in a particular place is never just physical, it's energetic. Let's begin with the head. If your scalp or forehead itches, you might be experiencing disordered thoughts or a need for clarity. It's your body's way of urging you to pause, reflect, and recenter your mind. In my experience, this often occurs when I'm overthinking or mentally overwhelmed. It's like the body saying, quiet your mind, reclaim your peace. Now, move to the face, especially the eyes, nose, or mouth. An itch here could point to blurred perception or communication blocks. Are you seeing things as they are? Are you truly expressing what's in your heart? Many times, when I felt an itch near my eyes, I later realized I had been ignoring a truth I didn't want to face. Then we arrive at the hands, perhaps the most active and symbolically rich parts of the body. In spiritual philosophy, the right hand represents action, giving, and outward energy. An itch here? It's a sign it might be time to act boldly, to take initiative, or to create something new. The left hand, by contrast, is receptive and intuitive. An itch on your left palm may mean you're ready to receive insight, abundance, or healing. When I've had moments of profound transformation in life, launching a new project, embracing a new path, it was often preceded by this sort of bodily signal. Itching isn't a nuisance. It's a nudge, feet and direction. Where are you headed? Perhaps the most overlooked spiritual signal comes through the feet. Itchy feet aren't just about wanderlust. They can symbolize direction, grounding, or imbalance. The left foot, spiritually speaking, connects to our foundation, our roots. If it itches, perhaps you're being asked to return to what grounds you: family, values, or inner truth. On the other hand, the right foot itching may indicate a readiness to move physically, emotionally, or spiritually. It may be time to break away from old patterns and embrace a new chapter. I recall a time when my right foot itched almost daily. I ignored it, dismissing it as dry skin. But looking back, it was the exact period when I was resisting a change I knew I needed, leaving a toxic environment and stepping into uncertainty. The body knew, even before the mind was ready. Itching across cultures, a shared mysticism. Throughout the world, many spiritual traditions have sought to interpret these subtle signs. In Hindu culture, Itching in the right palm is often seen as a sign of forthcoming prosperity for men. For women, however, it is believed to bring loss, as the right side is considered more active and masculine. The left hand, in contrast, reflects feminine energy, intuitive and receptive. While the gender interpretations may be culturally specific, the essence remains. Itching in the hand symbolizes energetic movement, whether giving, receiving, or resisting. In Chinese medicine, the philosophy goes even deeper, connecting itching with the health of internal organs. For example, itching in the big toe might reflect issues in the head or brain, while itching on the little toe could signal imbalance in the liver or gallbladder. These ancient systems remind us that the body is an interconnected web of energy and emotion. Personally, I find these cultural insights deeply enriching. They affirm a universal truth. Across continents and centuries, humans have always known there is more to the body than meets the eye. A moment of reflection. Let me ask you this. The last time you felt an itch, what were you thinking? What were you doing? Were you distracted? Anxious? Inspired? The next time it happens, try not to scratch right away. Instead, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what's happening inside me right now? What part of me is trying to speak? Is this a message, a warning, or a gentle encouragement? Over time, you may begin to notice patterns. Itching on the arms when holding back emotions. Itching on the legs when avoiding progress. These are not accidents, they're inner cues, reminders that your spiritual journey is happening moment by moment, sensation by sensation. As we conclude this first part of our exploration, remember, your body is not your enemy, nor is it random. It is your ally, your compass, your messenger. We'll dive deeper into more specific areas like the back, arms, thighs, and abdomen, and uncover how these regions hold the keys to healing, creativity, emotional release, and empowerment. If this journey has sparked something within you, an insight, a memory, a sense of curiosity, hold on to that. Let's continue together. From surface to soul, beyond the skin, we uncovered how specific areas like the head, face, hands, and feet carry deep symbolic messages when they itch. Now, we journey further into the body's map, interpreting even more subtle signals. Because here's the truth. Itching is not just on the skin, it's an energetic echo. It's often a sign that your spirit is moving, resisting, or awakening. In my own spiritual coaching sessions, clients frequently describe random itching in areas they can't explain. And I always ask, what are you suppressing? What are you afraid to face? More often than not, the body speaks when the voice is silent. Let's look deeper now. The back, the way of the past. An itch on the upper back can signify burdens or unresolved issues from your past. It's often where emotional tension gets stored, especially guilt, betrayal, or responsibilities we carry that no longer serve us. Spiritually, the back represents what we cannot see. If it itches, you might ask, is there something I'm avoiding? Is someone behind my back in a way I'm not aware of energetically or emotionally? The lower back, on the other hand, is linked to security and support. Itching here may suggest a fear of instability, perhaps financial insecurity, or a need for deeper trust in life's flow. In traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys which sit in the lower back are tied to fear. I've worked with individuals who experience persistent itching in the lower back during times of career transition or relationship loss. The itch was not random, it was their body's cry for reassurance. Arms and shoulders, the energy of action. The shoulders are symbolic of responsibility. When they itch, it could mean you're carrying more than you should, or perhaps resisting a responsibility you know is yours. The upper arms represent strength and ability to act. If your right arm itches, it might signal a readiness to take decisive action. If it's the left, perhaps it's time to receive support instead of always giving it. The forearms and wrists, meanwhile, often reflect the flow of energy between your intentions and your actions. An itch in the wrist might indicate internal resistance wanting to move forward, but holding yourself back. A simple journaling practice I often recommend. What am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What action am I resisting that might set me free? The stomach and abdomen, core emotions and intuition. The abdomen, especially the area around the solar plexus, is deeply connected to personal power, anxiety, and self-worth. When this area itches, it's time to check in with your inner truth. Are you feeling confident or insecure, empowered or disempowered? In many spiritual traditions, the stomach is seen as the seat of intuition. An itch here could be your gut literally trying to get your attention. I've personally found that during periods of inner conflict, when my intuition said one thing, but my mind said another, I would feel this itch as a tug-of-war between the two. The lower abdomen, connected to the sacral chakra, reflects creativity, sexuality, and emotional expression. An unexplained itch in this area might suggest a block or awakening in these aspects of your life. Are you suppressing your desires? Ignoring your need to create or connect? Thighs and legs, momentum and resistance. The thighs, especially the inner thighs, are linked to vulnerability and intimacy. Itching here could reflect unspoken desires or discomfort with emotional closeness. The outer thighs and calves, meanwhile, relate to movement and progress. If your legs itch without reason, ask yourself, what am I resisting? What next step in life am I afraid to take? Legs move us forward, but spiritually, they also symbolize trust. When we hesitate to move forward in faith, be it in a career, relationship, or life transition, the legs might echo that uncertainty through physical sensation. The meaning of itch timing and frequency is not just where you itch, but when and how often. Persistent itching in the same area may mean the message is urgent or that you're ignoring it. If you itch most often at night, it could suggest subconscious processing. Your guard is down, your soul is more open, and what's buried may rise to the surface. Spiritually, nighttime itches often point to karmic messages or past life echoes trying to emerge. If the itch appears suddenly during a specific situation, for example, when talking about someone or making a decision, pay attention. That's a moment of energetic alignment or misalignment. I once had a client who experienced intense itching in her throat every time she was about to speak her truth to someone she feared. It became a physical block, but once she recognized it and bravely chose to express herself, the itching stopped. Listening to the message before you scratch. Our modern reflex is to scratch and move on. But if you pause instead, you just might discover that every itch is a nudge from your higher self. You can start practice today. Whenever you feel an unexplained itch, breathe deeply and notice where the sensation is. Ask, what emotion or thought just passed through my mind? Reflect, is this a warning, a validation, or a call to act? Write down any recurring patterns. Over time, you'll begin to see how your body has been speaking all along. It only needed you to listen. Personal insight, from agitation to awareness. For much of my early spiritual journey, I ignored these signs. I believed in grand visions, signs in the sky, never realizing that the sacred speaks in whispers, not thunder. But one moment changed everything. During a deep meditation retreat, I felt persistent itching across my back and arms. I fought it at first, thinking it was a distraction. But then it hit me. I had been fighting myself, suppressing grief, resisting vulnerability, pretending I was stronger than I felt. The itching wasn't distraction. It was the invitation to feel, to release, to begin again. Final thoughts. Itching as intuition, awakening as attention. Itching, in its simplest form, invites us to pay attention, whether the body, the soul, or the energetic shift happening beneath the surface. It is always a message in motion. In a world obsessed with external noise, the body offers quiet truths. It whispers, slow down, listen, heal. And perhaps that's the lesson for all of us, that beneath every irritation lies an invitation. Beneath every discomfort lies a discovery. If this exploration resonated with you, if you've ever felt a mysterious itch that now makes more sense, I invite you to go deeper. Begin journaling your body's sensations. Meditate on them. Welcome them, even when they're uncomfortable. And most importantly, share this wisdom. Let others know that their body is sacred, that every itch may be more than skin deep, that spirituality is not just about what's above, but what's within. Subscribe for more insights like this, and join a community of seekers who are learning to hear the soul in even the smallest of signs, because your body speaks. And now, you are listening.